what we know that's so important and why we do this work is that cultures of companies, of organizations thrive when people feel like they belong and when people feel like they can contribute to the success of that organization or company.
Hi, I'm Stephen Reed, partner at Spaciousness Works and a positive intelligence coach. And I'm here with our founder, Tanya Cruz-Teller. Hey, Tanya.
Hey, Stephen. Great to be here today.
Thank you so much for being here and just sharing your wisdom. And what I want to ask you first is, what is the largest organization or company you've worked with using Appreciative Inquiry that slots into our second domain in our Change Strength Index?
Great. So that second domain, which is very exciting, is about a positive core and strengths. And so when I think about the largest organization where we were able to really bring that out, it was a global company. There was new leadership that was wanting to renew or refresh their values. But because they were new leaders, they were really committed to engaging all their employees. And when we talk about all their employees, that was 38,000 staff across the globe. So it was a really exciting time to help and think and design and co-create a way of engaging staff around these renewed and refreshed values.
I'd like you to say a little bit more about the workshop if you can.
Great. So the workshop, we designed it for about 80 people maximum, so that there was high diversity, high engagement over a one-day period. And the methodology that we used was for people to tell their own stories of peak moments in the company, of when they were fully in coherence living their own values. And that storytelling then led to a design where people got creative with each other, identifying the shared values and then tracking it back to the renewed values that had been identified by the new leadership. And what was amazing was that the two really tracked with each other, because the values identification that the leaders went through and the values surfacing and stories that the staff went through really converged around some basic principles of trust and empathy and impact and precision, for example.
Say more about how this process, living the values, intentionally and organically surfaced the positive core.
Yeah, great. So by using a design that tapped into storytelling, people come alive when they know that they're the only ones who actually know their stories best. And because we were seeking and searching for that which was peak moments within the organization, they could identify and grow their sense of belonging, both with each other and with the company, from a place of true contribution and that experience. And the deep listening that they were invited to do with each other had them cross different boundaries, different experiences to find that which was common, which were these moments, these peak moments of being alive, of being a contributor, of receiving the best of the company to have shared impact in the world.
Were there any complexities that you want to name?
Yes, for sure. When you have that many people in a room and you have that many employees and you are working with a global team, what you have is important to design for with Appreciative Inquiry is, what does it look like to bridge different levels of education, of experience, of first languages, of cultural norms. Like in the room, there were different cultural norms around gender and other identities. So how do we assist people to be able to bridge what can be experienced as differences into a moment of curiosity and connection? And what we know that's so important and why we do this work is that cultures of companies, of organizations thrive when people feel like they belong and when people feel like they can contribute to the success of that organization or company. So we designed with using generative questions and storytelling. That was one way to mitigate some of the status challenges that could be found in the room, because as you know, no one knows your story better than you, right? When you can step into your expertise and into your knowledge amongst people who may not be peers, something gets activated in terms of your sense of can-do, your sense of belonging, your sense of visibility. And that was especially powerful in this mixed group. The other thing we did was use processes of drawing. So drawing is a fantastic way of bridging different languages. It also, as many people in our sessions can attest to, it opens up a moment of discomfort because we're not often drawing in our workspaces. Some people are, but many of us are not. And so leaning into that discomfort in a shared way enabled us to, and enabled them to, reduce the focus on what's different and create some moments of levity and curiosity through the creativity. So those were a few of the exciting processes we were able to roll out.
Fantastic.
Those processes in particular are the kind that we really encourage leaders and organizations to use to amplify the positive core, to be able to find the strengths, especially when you're working with high complexity and high diversity.
As you've said, it worked so well with the leadership team, and we know Appreciative Inquiry works well with leadership teams in small organizations. Why do you think Appreciative Inquiry also works so well with large, complex organizations like the one you're talking about now with 38,000 employees around the world?
Yeah. So what we found in working with large complex systems is that finding moments and ways and processes where you can co-create really transforms a culture from being imposed or values from being imposed to values that already exist within the organization and are shared and are amplified from within instead of from external. So large complex systems really thrive when you can find ways of engaging in your values, in your storytelling, in your shared moments of peak experiences of success with each other.
Wow. Well, thank you so much for sharing some of your storytelling and some of your positive core. Fascinating. That's such a lot of people. Great. So if you want to do your leadership assessment and find out more about your change strength using our change strength index, the link is in the description below, and we'll catch up with you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.